Alright, this is Operation End Times. I'm your Jedi Warrior for Jesus, Ben Hellestead. This is the Vikings series. And I'm going to call this one, it's kind of the third part of the wandering to and fro. I'm going to call it the Golden Pipes. Just so you know, my friends, I'm having as hard a time pulling this all together as you might think, because I'm trying very hard not to just pull things together that are my own conclusions. I'm trying to let it be something that is a divine conclusion. But what we find out, we have the blondes, the 2%. Life is a journey. We're all vessels. We're our own boats. We can also be stones. Stones sink, which is not a good thing, and become a tombstone. So we have this language, verbiage, where waves actually equal heaps of stones. H1530, gal, means heaps of stones. So I was looking in the book of Zeccariah, chapter 4. And he's talking to an angel. Zeccariah 4:1, and the angel talked to me. He came again, and he waked me. So he had to wake up, open his eyes to start seeing the truth. But he says, "What seest you?" And he looked, and he saw a candlestick of gold, and a bowl on top of it, 7 lamps, 7 pipes, 7 lamps, 2 olive trees, 2 olive trees. But we get to Zeccariah 4:5, and then the angel that talked to me said, "Do you know what these be?" And I said, "No, I don't." Zeccariah 4:6, he answered, and he said, "This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel." Now, Zerubbabel means sown in Babylon. So that's people who were sown in a 3D carnal world, because Babylon represents carnal thinking. But Zeccariah 4:6, he answered, and he said, "This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, those that were sown in Babylon, saying, not by might, mighty men, vikings, people with a sword, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts." And that's part of what's going down, my friends, is, when you prepare the way, Operation End Times, the bottom line is trying to teach you how to be a Jedi, because if you keep thinking that you're going to have a sword and you're going to be slicing and dicing people up and there's going to be blood flying every which way, you're trapped in the 3D carnal manifestation or mindset, and you just can't break out of it. Because this time around, God's going to do it all. Zeccariah 4:8, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel, those sown in Babylon, have laid the foundations of this house," the fake house. "His hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto you." Zeccariah 4:10, very important. "For who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice, and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel." Plummet is the stone. A stone plummeting downwards into the depths of the ocean by the hands of those sown in Babylon. "With those 7, they are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro through the whole earth." And there's that phrase, to and fro. Cain wandered to and fro. Adam, when the Lord said, "Where you been?" he said, "I've been wandering to and fro." So to and fro is like exploring. It's moving around on the 3D carnal plane of existence on the earth. People with ships. Phoenicians, Irad, the fleet, the third son of Cain, the Danes, the Vikings, the Seraphim, the people with the red hair. But God himself, the prophets went wandering to and fro, delivering the word of the Lord. So wandering to and fro could be both positive and negative, but it represents people who are seeking knowledge or walking in knowledge. So if you're not going to and fro, you're just sitting in your little bubbleized, hedged-in existence, hey, God bless you, man. But I'm just going to tell you, there's a good possibility that in your journey of life, your little vessel, your little bubble might run into some rough waters or might get a hole in it and start sinking. So you need to know how to deal with that and how to look beyond the bubble. Wanderers do. They're explorers. Zeccariah 4:9. The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundations. Zeccariah 4:11. Then answered I unto him, what are these two olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick, upon the left side thereof? And this is actually really amazing, my friends. Zeccariah 4:12. And he asks a second time. He says, what be these two olive branches, which through the two golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? Now, I'm going to go out on a limb, my friends. I might be one of those pipes, man. And you know what? I'm not in the habit of saying I'm a chosen or I'm a prophet. In fact, I say the exact opposite. I'm not a prophet. But, you know, when you look at this verse, Zeccariah 4:12, golden pipes. Golden is the color of blonde hair. It means to shimmer. You know, blonde hair shimmers. And pipes, you know, I'll pull it up just so that we can look at it. I'm on the Blue Bible just looking at the Hebrew words. But pipes is Hebrew 6804, Tasan Tera. Tasan Tara. Pronounced Tasan Tara. Hebrew 6804. Pipes feeding lamps with oil. But when you look at the explanation of it, it says channels, tubes, through which oil of the vessel, the boat, flows into the lamps. Well, hey, I'm on YouTube, and I got my own channel, Operation End Times, and Tribulation 05, 05-15, 2011. And there's other people with YouTube channels. So I don't know whether it's an exact 2 or the 2 is a grouping, a 2% of channels have the truth on them. You know, kind of like blonde people are 2%. That doesn't mean you have to be blonde and blue-eyed to be a channel of truth. It does not. But I think this verse literally points to the fact that the truth is actually flowing out of YouTube channels, because this word is only used once in the Bible on Zeccariah 4:12. The golden pipes, the YouTube channels, where the golden oil is pouring out of themselves. So there you have a direct tie-in to the here and the now. And God bless you if you're watching this channel. Because, you know, before I start every video, I pray to God and I say, let it be your divine knowledge. Let it be your wisdom that comes to me and through me, that flows off of my lips to everybody else. Don't let it be anything of my own making, you know. So, once again, this end time event, it's all about getting on board and heading towards a distant shore. Letting the wind, the Spirit of God, blow into your sails to push you onto that shore. And to be in the bow of the ship as the heavens bow down. To crash the shore and have a solid foundation so you can erect a high tower, you know, of power. And the land will have to be taken by force. Ezra, you know, the good pasture, because there's still giants lurking about. So, you know, we're all vessels. Some of us want to be a mighty flagon that can slay a dragon, and perhaps that will be so for some. You know, we each have our own destiny as laid out by God, you know, and that's what you should pray to God. I do. I say, Father, let me walk with you, you know, with the Christ head towards the destiny. And I'm no longer planning my own course in life, you know. And I'm a certified captain, so I tell you what, the first thing that a captain does before you set out on a boat is you get your maps out and you chart your course, you know, to make sure you have a safe journey. But that's part of the walk. That's what Abraham had to do coming out of Babylon, out of Ur, is to walk in faith, blind, with only God blowing in your sails and letting God take over the rudder. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges of our walk in these end times, is giving it up. What you want to have is a desire to row, to seek the truth, to get to the distant shore. You know, you want to have the humble spirit. And that's where the distortion comes in, where blonde people are portrayed as prideful, egocentric, you know, all full of themselves and their blondness, whereas blonde people are actually hella nice. And guess what? People of all colors are nice, you know. But why is it blonde people get portrayed, especially that their hair is somehow leading them astray? And Vikings are portrayed as these marauding evil men, whereas if you look at Danish people and Norwegian people and blonde-haired people, look at World War II, where Hitler, a brunette, is the one that said, I will make a superhuman race out of the blondes, and therefore now, even 50 years later, everybody's got this idea that the minute, if you're a blonde person talking about blonde people being special or having some kind of role, they immediately tie you into Hitler, saying, oh, you're talking about the Aryan nation, you're part of the Ku Klux Klan, you're part of the Nazi mindset. And I'll tell you what, that's all a dark distortion that was hoisted upon whatever is truly going on, with blonde people and the glory of God, man. I've been to Denmark, I've been to Norway. They had the Winter Olympics in Norway and people loved it, Whereas the Winter Olympics in Russia, that was a big phony thing, And what I will tell you is the fallen sons of God, they probably came in every hair color and eye color, But that still doesn't cover up or cover over the role that perhaps the blondness, the 2%, is playing in the changing of times. And there's all this verbiage of the north, and there's two norths. There's directly north, Mount Hermon, where the fallen sons came down, and something happened, in my opinion, with the blondness. And then there's north of north, which is above the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea, where there's this unnatural concentration of blondness, where the age of the Vikings burst forth. And, the Vikings are the ones that kind of crushed the head of the Roman Empire, which, in the Bible, in spiritual terms, Rome is the iron beast rising up out of the sea, man. So, it's not saying it's only blonde-haired people, because the Vikings, I'm telling you, it wasn't a race. It was a brotherhood based on a common perspective and set of laws and how we dealt with each other. Brotherly love, that if you were in the brotherhood, you were good. And I think the Vikings were constantly expanding through trade and getting to know other people, whether it be the Indians or the Mexicans, because they went all the way down there, going across to China, down to Babylon. During that 300-year span, the Vikings kind of pushed out across the globe, and it was positive. It was basically just the church at the time, which had fallen into this huge dark hole that was saying, hey, either convert or die. That was bringing the evil on the Vikings, and what evil the Vikings may have done. And I'm not saying there was never an evil blonde-haired person. Each person, Moses, the devil contested over Moses's body, because every one of us is subject to the time and place that we were born into, the 3D carnal manifestation. It plays a role in how we see things. So even the Vikings, good or bad, they had the existing world. And guess what? They were looking at the church and Rome that was coming up and killing all of them. That was like this evil empire that was just trying to snuff them out of existence. And the rule of the land by the crullers. Before Vikings ever existed, because Vikings, the word didn't even exist till the 1960s. They were just called Northmen or Norsemen, But the rule of any army attacking another army was to enslave people, to crush, kill, pillage, plunder, and rape, So why that got pinned on just the Vikings, I see it as a conspiracy of a higher order, of a dark shadow of principalities in high places, and of the Illuminati. When you look at Norway, there's a pentagram there, the worship of the serpent. The serpent is neither good nor bad. A serpent just represents the spirit. So there are dark spirits, there are evil spirits. But guess what? The Spirit of God is also represented by a snake, but it's good. God is good, The two-faced gods, the Vikings probably played into that, because when you saw the Vikings coming, you saw the dragon blowing the smoke and the flames. But behind the dragon, in the boat, in the vessel, were a bunch of comrades in arms who treated each other with respect, that believed in fair trade and not promising what you couldn't deliver, and just living according to a standard where, men could be brothers. And all of that is kind of like a reflection of what Jesus Christ brought in his message, which was to love God and to love your fellow brother. And he literally was forming a brotherhood of love. Was it the Vikings that he was forming, All right, hey, we will continue. The Vikings are not done. But I've thrown as much out there as I can. I'm going to try and put a whole bunch of stuff into the notes of all of these 3 videos that I did today. Let you ponder and chew, and may the truth come forth. God bless you for watching this series. I'm your Jedi warrior for Jesus, Ben Hellistead. This is Operation End Times. We are living in the most amazing times, my friends. God bless you all.